Oh? Who permitted you to come onto this stage? Now, I understand your admiration for my august self, but I must ask you to keep to the rule. All right. It is not my intent to reprimand you. There is no need to state your name. Just be off with you. Do not... Oh, do not jest. Can you not feel it? I am Focalor. The eyes of countless Fontanians are upon me. I must, at all times, display the Dear audience, the performance is experiencing a technical difficulty, but worry not. The guards shall resolve it soon enough.
No, my sword! Huh? Propagate! Frost is coming!
Hey, what gives? The audience is still watching me, you know. Guards? Wait, where are the guards? Guards!
Germinate!
Farina. Huh? Who's that? Who's calling me? Where are you? Be not nervous. Be not afraid. I am before you. Wait a moment. You're mirror me? How can this be? Mirror you, huh? You know what? That's not bad. Mirror me. What do you wish to say? The prophecy. Have you heard of it? What prophecy? Wait. The people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain. Oh, very good. What's going on? I can't seem to remember anything clearly. Yes, it will. And that is why I've come to you. Disaster will come to Fontaine sooner. But doesn't that mean everyone will die? I'm a Fontanian just like them. Oh, don't worry. Magical meetings exist in this world precisely to give people a chance. I will tell you how to save everyone, but you may have to suffer somewhat. Oh, so there's still hope after all. As for the suffering, well, I will admit that but if the prophecy will come true, if there were scales, with all the people of Fontaine on one side, and my pain on the other. You truly are the perfect human. I suppose this would also be the justice that Huh?
Don't worry, it's nothing. Listen well. Fontaine has just lost its Hydro Archon. I need you to play a role.
Play as a god?
That's right. You must begin a never-ending masquerade. If you can keep it up, then I shall have my way of defying this prophecy. But should your identity be revealed...
But how will I do this?
Don't worry. What you must do is not to turn yourself into a real god. Being a human yourself, I'm sure you already know what such... Remember, your true challenge will not be pursuing
I'm still not sure I understand. So, how long am I going to have to play?
To accomplish this mission, you will have to stay on the stage for but I promise you, all will eventually...
A trial? Huh. How exciting.
Soy una linda nenita. Mira qué piernas más sexys tengo.
Man. Pues como era.
The Maison Cardinalise has announced my accession. But this is my first time. What should I say to most appear like a god? To be honest, I still don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome. I'm sure you've all heard about how I have taken on the role of Hydro Archon. Indeed, in truth, I know little about becoming a nation's new god, but it will be my honor as the god Focalor, the god of justice. I shall do all within my power to lead you in. Once again, thank you all for coming. If you should have any questions or suggestions, please send them to the Maison Cardinalise. The future of this should do it. I thought I might stammer, but thankfully, I was able.
That's the new Hydro Archon. Is this some kind of joke by the Maison? I would have thought that a being that surpasses humanity would be...
Hey, did you hear that? She even told us to send her suggestions there.
Shouldn't gods be all-powerful? She's being so modest.
If you ask me, perhaps the succession didn't actually happen. She might just...
Wait, what's going on? Why is everyone suspecting me of being right? Mirmi said that I just need to play the calm down, Farina. Think, assertive, with a strong sense of presence. One who can dispel all doubt. Oh, very good, my people. Only ones such as you are deserving of... Now, I was wondering if some weak puppet were to one day come onto the stage and claim ownership. Well, it seems that you would all see right through them. Having passed my test, you may consider my previous act a door gift of sorts. I thought it was a debut that suited the atmosphere. Now then, let us be reintroduced.
Ah, so that was just a performance. How could I have forgotten that we were in...
Personality? It's quite shocking, to be honest, but I suppose it's a better look than before.
Sí, vamos, que tiene que demostrar ser prepotente, sin sentimientos y fría.
Such a fascinating and bold deity.
Básicamente.
How wonderful! Our future may yet be bright after all.
It seems I've turned them around. Best follow this flow and restart my accession speech. My dear people, whether you acknowledge me or not, whether you trust me or nay, I say to you, we have heard it said that this nation's sins can no longer be washed away. Well, I say that justice is most. The scales of justice should not weigh heavy in the hands of its god. On one side, it must carry fairness and justice. And may law be the prayer on our lips. May judgment be our worship. Let us light the fires and. There is no trouble in this world that justice cannot solve. All that is needed is so long as I, the Archon Focalor, stand within the Opera Epiclese. So long as I stand before the Oratrice!
Bueno. ¿Qué es esto?
Justo. Bueno, rico.
Vale, menos mal que podía parar. A ver, vamos a seguir porque si no. ¿Aunque tienes que irte?
Lady Farina, here are today's case reports as well as a summary of the follow-up for your perusal.
Come now. Was I not just at the Opera House in person? Besides, none of these trials were the one that I'm looking.
If I may be so impertinent, what kind of
A magnificent, dramatic, and wondrous trial. A trial to end all things.
That's true. I fear I lack the ability to grasp your divine thought, Lady Archon.
No need for fright, and do not take what I said before too seriously. Go now, do your duties. The
Lady Farina, I don't know what to say. Thank you for agreeing to see me.
No need to thank me. Or rather, thank your own sense of Oh, I'm afraid that's all right. Deuteria, is it? How is your son's illness?
You remembered me, and you knew of my family, too.
Vale, eso ya me están molestando a las 9 de la mañana.
He's doing much better now. In fact, he is far more of an ardent believer than I. He was the one who forced me to seek an audience with you.
Oh, good. Very good. If this should happen again in the future, please do not hesitate to come.
You're such a gentle and wise god. Thank you once again. On behalf.
Sí, vamos, que por mucho que fingiese, demostraba no ser el verdadero arcón, básicamente. Está demasiado bondadosa y todo eso, ¿sabes lo que quiero decir?
A ver, y eso, y creo, y si no tiene poderes, pues claro. No sé.
Lady Farina,
Eso es lo que no entiendo. O sea, sale en el banner y el personaje tiene, no sé. Bueno, no digan nada.
The specific parameters you asked to take note of. I'm afraid things still don't look good.
I see. It's as I thought then. As your god, I did already expect this, but I want all manner of signs indicate that the prophecy will still come to pass. Forget it. That's not...
Well, as I understand it, the Fontaine Research Institute...
Really? Have they found anything?
I'm afraid that they haven't found any effective...
Oh, is that so? Well, no wonder. The day is finally over. I haven't had a moment to breathe this, but it's good to see that everything's getting on track. Maybe this is fine. I just need... Alright, Farina, don't think too hard.
Lady Farina, here are the new trial reports for the latest cases, as well.
There'll be no need for that.
Lady Farina, I've waited so...
Indeed, my dear loyal citizen. This...
Vamos, que se lo va subiendo.
Lady Farina, we're detecting significant hydrological anomalies near Post...
Understood. Keep monitoring. Keep me informed. I don't think I let anything slip today. I just don't... I feel utterly exhausted.
Lady Farina, it's like a dream being able to speak. I've heard that the first member of our family who was honored to receive an audience with you was
And what a fine family yours is indeed.
Surely you
What is it, good citizen?
Oh, are you crying?
Uh-huh. This must be the overflow of hydro from my person. Well, can't quite help being the god who's...
No wonder. No wonder. A manifestation of your power.
So interminable. Hundreds of years must have passed by now. Perhaps the show must go. I never imagined that it would hurt so much. Have I reached my limit? I want to tell someone, anyone, about this. But I've conducted so many investigations across the century. All I can do is keep heart. I must maintain this act. It is the...
Farina, you don't have to shoulder this burden alone. Although I don't know what you might be keeping from everyone.
Share my burden. That's impossible. It was fated right from the start that this...
But even if your burden doesn't need to be shared, just share it with me.
A witness. Yes, I've heard, and if Tevat is in its entirety a show on... If that... He's right. I could confide in him, couldn't I? But if things don't play out as expected, No, Farina. You shouldn't be selfish. But what if... Farina... You've worked so hard for so... Is it such an outrageous thing to do anyway? To find someone in whom you can confide. If you let this opportunity slip through your fingers, think about it. Long and hard. No, I have nothing to say. I am Farina. All you need to do, dear spectator, is to witness my performance.
Fine.
So even Farina doesn't know the truth? You've never once let her in on the full—
Yes, it had to be done. She did very well. If she had let her resolve falter even once in these it seems that trusting humanity—
I believe that I understand how your deception works, but that is only half the truth. How would you build on this foundation to save the people of Fontaine? That is—
Ah, good. Of course, the Iudex of Fontaine has pinpointed I'm sure you've long sensed that the Oratrice is no simple machine, yes?
I've always suspected that it had its own consciousness. And Lenny did mention that he heard a human voice within the court. It now seems that that person was you, hidden within the machine all—
And then I became one with the Oratrice, taking Fontaine's gnosis with me. Yes, it would seem— Alas, your understanding of this device— In truth, it is no enactor of justice. It is, in fact—
I beg—
Oh, you have it. And to be more precise, not only will the Oratrice take down— I mean, did you think I would be the sort— My work over these last 500 years has been to constantly accumulate— But really, some have already discovered that only a small fraction of the energy generated by the vast majority had to be accumulated.
It was all a part of your plan then? Both the trial—
Indeed. This power, accrued over 5 centuries, could have sustained Fontainians for millennia, had it only been used for that purpose. But only power of this magnitude could hope to destroy the Hydro Archon's divine throne, shaking the rules established by Celestia.
So the Oratrice's call for death was for neither Farina nor Focalor, but for the Hydro Archon. The destruction of that divine throne. If I do not misunderstand your intent—
Returning what's rightfully yours to you, of course. In other words, this was all done to return the authority of the Hydro Archon to the Hydro Dragon.
But—
Oh, what? Getting sad again, are we? The authority of the ancient dragons shall soon be yours once more, O Hydro Dragon Soft.
All you've done throughout the years is just so you can sacrifice yourself at the very end.
I've never quite seen it that way, you know. Even now, I'm quite pleased at how well my deception worked. Hydro Dragon, don't cry. I must say, had it been within my rights, I would have loved to judge the heavenly principles themselves. Were that Egeria stole the power of the primordial sea, and the heavenly principles stole the power— I, for my part, am the god of justice. And is it not just— Speaking of justice, I have always believed that justice lies in the process of So, if the theft of the primordial sea's might was Fontaine's original sin, then, leaving matters of procedural right and wrong aside, the descent of the Fontainians as humans and the— In other words, existence was Egeria's justice, and to me, defying the prophecy and ensuring that Fontaine's people shall live on, that should be the justice enthroned over all others. At this point, we, whether it be myself or Iudex Nervillet, the highest judge in our land.
So when I was invited to the court of Fontaine to serve as Iudex, at last, I now understand the true purpose behind this. In the beginning, I was uninterested in human existence. But these 5 centuries of living alongside them have gradually brought about You are a devious one, Focalors. Things being as they are, surely you know that I could never declare them to be guilty.
The hour of my execution is almost here. For the sinner, the curtain call has come. I know I may not sound it, but faced with death, I find myself a little afraid. Perhaps this is one thing both gods and humans have in common. Farewell, Nervalette. I hope you've enjoyed the part you played these 500 years.
I, Iudex Nervalette, hereby declare, people of Fontaine, your sins are forgiven.
What just happened?
Was that bright light some sort of misdirection? I have a feeling that something huge just happened.
But since we're all still alive and haven't been dissolved, I assume whatever happened...
It's time to end this. We must mete out punishment to that beast.
But... didn't you say just a moment ago...
I have gained the strength sufficient to deal with it. Through certain means, I now have the ability to separate the power of the Prime. We should seize the opportunity to pursue our quarry. Traveler, now that the oratories can no longer function, I require an executor to help the root of the calamities befalling Fontaine, the beast that enacts the prophecy. Its name is the all-devouring Narwhal. Come with me, traveler. The hour of execution has come.
Pues qué guay, ¿no?
Básicamente.
We're going to execute it?
done my best to separate the power of the primordial sea from the whale. But considering the size of the beast, I cannot reach the power source. Unless we can find a way to attack it from within. I shall share a part of the ancient dragon's power with you. We shall look for an opening together.
Buah, esto va a ser duro con este personaje, macho. No me deja cambiarlo.
Ya.
¿A ti te pasó algo igual?
Básicamente, no me acuerdo qué iba, pero iba... Hombre, a ver, que quieras que no vas con el de hielo, por lo menos algo... No se podrá hacer.
Sabes que lo tengo sin talento y a nivel 70, ¿verdad?
Ya.
De hecho, el más tocho que tengo sería sin Q.
Y con Fizz.
Ya.
En Fizz por lo menos pones el S y que... Digo, la reacción, ¿sabes? No...
Rain outlines your fate. Let me weave you a verse.
The all-devouring narwhal cannot resist its instinct to devour. Continue to trigger its hostility. Chance will present itself.
Darkness, come, sever night.
Scatter!
Propagate! Getting here! Rank!
I have granted you my protection. Do not fear. Seize the moment and use my power to suppress its roots from within.
Getting here! Commencing cleanup! Hair! Getting here! Frost is coming!
As you wish, main Fräulein.
Ah, estoy muertísimo, yo no puedo hacer nada más. No.
Frost is coming! Witness the power by royal decree! Frost is coming! Scatter!
¿Esa no es la del principio?
No.
Thanks for helping with the cleanup.
Porque la del
Should have been
principio
my
tenía
job,
colores
but...
como...
Oh well. It was just supposed to be a short private training session for me. I didn't think that my disciple and my master's pet would start brawling in the meantime. Well, actually, I had a feeling that it would happen at some point, but they bumped into one another earlier than I thought. What a blunder. I suppose I'll have to...
That power. Who are you exactly?
Paimon has an idea. From what she said earlier, she must be Child's master. It's just that he gave us the impression that she was, less...
I simply did not have anything to say to the weak. But you, on the other hand, so you may speak to me as equals. I have to agree. It's a strange use of a planet's primordial waters just to raise an all-devouring That kind of power is wasted on it. It's not cooperative. It eats too much. And I have more important things to do with my time than pet sitting. The only thing that creature has got. All in all, it fails as a pet.
Miss Skirk? think you might have missed the
The point being?
Well, being that this pet almost destroyed an entire nation. So what sort of person is your master? Well, child's master.
Oh, right. So you don't know him. Sorry, his name is Sertologi.
Huh?
I am unfamiliar with that.
Huh. So Master isn't sufficiently famous. How should I
The foul?
Still nothing? Well, how about the Visionary? Vetter.
Ooh, that one we've heard. Rhine Doctor's part of the Hexen Circle. She's Albedo's mom, right?
Oh, so you do know that name. To be honest, I also heard all of those names in title, but I suppose you understand now, yes? My master is likely a similar—
Wait! Didn't you also mention a visionary person?
Actually, never mind that. I believe it expedient to inform you that the all-devouring narwhal used up nearly all its strength fighting you. Such roiling hydro energies will prove difficult for the planet's deep seas to digest. As such, the fontaine back on the surface has most likely been thrown into chaos. In other words, the prophecy that you've been fretting over should now be in full swing.
What?
Not to worry. Focalor has all...
In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only Farina will remain, weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away.
Vale, pues me quedé sin hacer las misiones restantes de Fontaine. Me he muerto todo.
Hey! Help! Over here! All hands, initiate emergency rescue! Hurry! Hey, lend a hand!
¿Has visto el niño ese?
Mira. Pero que gilipollas.
Look! The water's receding!
Adiós a tomar por culo toda la aparato electrónico que tuvieron.
We didn't dissolve. The prophecy was wrong. The prophecy was wrong.
Bueno, a ver, si era cierta, pero daban por hecho que iban a morir. En ningún momento dijeron que murieran.
The prophecy was wrong.
Como que veo eso y me da fresquito, ¿sabes? Algo raro.
Aún no entiendes por qué la ballena dura tan poco, si le queda toda la vida prácticamente.
To meet with Miss Navia.
A ver, porque creo que también se dan cuenta de que a lo mejor te meten en la misión, no tienes personajes tochos y...
Sí, vamos, que resista, básicamente.
Sí.
Old soil can still give birth to new bloom, Miss Navia stated. Hope is like seeing a small cookie when you're starving late at night. Skyship Winglet, Booner Bane of the Fontaine Research, the various disputes that have arisen on account of Mr. Edwin have suddenly become a shield over the Institute. With Jurier turning out, people always call the first researcher mad, but few know what to call the second. And should that latter person Wow! Paimon barely recognizes the people in the reports. Are those really Jurier and Navia? They sound like real big shots.
What do you think? Pretty enthralling, huh? The Steambird's idea was pretty simple. With the disaster just having passed, the value for these big scoops lies in their inevitable follow-ups. We'll publish further reports and go into the stories behind those people. Edwin's assistant, Jurier, created a true flying ship, while Navia is leading people in the reconstruction of their home.
Paimon's curious too! Wait a minute. Didn't we watch everything happen from start?
And that's exactly why I'd like you to come conduct interviews with me. You're the best incubators of news, if you haven't noticed.
Are you sure? Hasn't he turned you down several times already?
Oh, this time will be different. Come on, let's head to Poisson first.
Ya. Pero sí. Ay, qué putillo.
Sí que era putillo. Más bien un
Gilipollas.
Navia!
Oh, it's you. What brings you all here?
Hey, we're just having a look around.
I'm here to update myself on how things are going here. Oh, the Fatui are here too.
Let me introduce you. This is Mr. Garunt Snežević. He represented the Nave. Our residents are hard at work as well. Thanks to everyone, work is progressing nicely. We've lost a lot of people.
Hello, Miss Charlotte. I'm a big fan of yours. But if you don't mind, could you not emphasize our role too much in your report? It's not charity we're doing here. We just happen to share the same
I get where you're coming from. I'll keep it as simple as possible. Or would you be willing to feature as Fred?
That would be fine. Thanks.
Oh, you're back too. How are things?
We finished laying down the construction materials. It'll be another hour before the...
Huh? You're here too, Clorian?
Well, her reputation's greatly risen after that whole duel business with Miss Farina. So she's here in Poisson to wait out the heat.
There's too much to consider in the reconstruction of Poisson. The Spina has need of more decision-makers.
Oh, wait just a moment. Do you mind me asking a few questions? You know, about how you felt before the duel, about what it was like facing...
Forget it. I'm sure you can find a better theme than that, Miss Charlotte.
I see you're the same as always. Couldn't you do me a favor for not...
Well, if we're talking about doing things for my sake, you might as well just take a few more photos of me.
Of course I will. I'm not gonna let him off that easy. All right, then everyone who wants to be in the photo, gather up.
How did it go? Was it a good shot, did Paimon?
Not bad. Your addition really helped the composition of the picture. All right, hang on a moment. Let me snap a few more shots. All right, that should do it. I'll be back here later anyway, so let's call it a day.
You're very quick.
Speed is of the essence when it comes to the news, and freshness is also, not to brag, but I'm pretty good at building connections. Who knows? I might.
Wow, you really do have that never.
I'll hazard a guess that this is how you got that interview at the Fortress of Mer.
Whoa, you're well informed. Let me make a guess too. I asked Sigewin.
That's a very complete.
In truth, all Monsieur Neuvillette asked me was, when did the fortress become? I told him that it was best not to speak too soon.
You're right. I've got to treasure every moment I have with them. In which case, I'll be making a move.
Stay safe now. And tell me if you hear anything interesting.
Wow, guess we're here again, huh? There's a real nostalgic feeling to—
Looks like you've been missing us.
Duke! Did you come all the way to the entrance to greet us?
Of course. I'm here to welcome you and our dear Miss Charlotte.
It's an honor to finally meet the much-rumored Duke. Thank you for consenting to my visit to the fortress, sir.
No need to thank me. But that said, I shouldn't be the focus of your interview.
Of course, of course.
All right then, this way.
Hey, no need to be so nervous. Miss Charlotte.
It would seem that Miss Lorvine doesn't want her face to—
Sir, please don't say things like that.
But it looks like dear Mr. Jurier denies it.
No, I just... This is my first time being...
Now, I might not look it, but I actually did meet Mr. Edwin once. And I'll be honest, I enjoyed the boat that brought about a miracle, the ark that saved the people. Why, you recreated a myth back there. Still, if I might ask...
Looks like Charlotte's trying to get her—
I have to apologize, but that ship is presently in the bowels of our factory.
Really? Well, then in that case, could I have an interview?
You already know my answer, I'm afraid. Best you interview our head nurse instead. Or perhaps you'd like to take another—
Did you really have to use the word couple? Well, then, 2 solo photos will do.
Is my hair messed up? Please, someone help me have a look.
Things sure are getting pretty lively here. We've seen this kind of thing. Oh, seems like everyone's here. Would any of you like to try this?
Ah, Sigewin.
Hey, Miss Charlotte. Why don't you, sure. Come on, Miss Sigewin, over this way. Let's find a brighter spot.
Huh? Sure. Do I have to smile? So, how have things been at the fortress?
Same old, as you can see. Fontaine's undergone some changes, but this place is still more or less the same.
Other than that flying ship, it got a tad too much attention.
That's why I decided to let the interview go through. We should direct more public opinions toward the behind-the-scenes heroes.
You're too kind, sir. I believe that you too should have your day in the sun.
I'll just leave the spot. I see. Lots of things happened that day, huh? Anyway, regarding that Harbinger, I'm not—
He sure did win them over, huh?
I'll tell them that there's good news and bad news. The good being that their boss seems fine, and the bad being that they must face extended sentences for abetting his escape.
Oh, actually, what about you? Are things—
What change can there be? The fortress will keep chugging along, and so will my duties. As to what Miss Farina's departure will mean for the nation, and if our laws and governance will be transformed, we'll leave those to the folk.
Hey, everyone. The photo shoot's done.
Good. In that case, let's call it a day here.
Thanks for your cooperation. Come on, Traveler, let's go. Till next time, everyone.
There'll be a next time?
Maybe. Who knows? I might write a story about the underwater All right, last stop, the docks.
Vale, hola.
Sí, sí.
Este me está molestando.
Tranquilo.
Que si tú tienes que irte y eso, ¿sabes? Así.
Que sí, que sí.
Navia mentioned that she stayed in touch with Linny and the others after working together. Apparently, they've been at the docks
Traveler, Paimon. Ah, and Miss Charlotte, too.
Would you like a magic pocket? What sort of gadget is it? It's a wondrous bag that can be used to carry many things. The water level has returned to normal, but if you see any of your... Trick a friend! You could just make a friend like Fremine here. Isn't that right, Fremine?
Is this what you meant by, I'll help you make some more friends?
To be honest, that sounds pretty sweet. Could I have your contact, please?
Sure. Please, write down my address.
Lynette sure is working hard to help Fremine socialize.
He was the one who proposed doing this. He even wants to assist in our magic shows.
Yes, I was planning to first introduce Pear as an assistant, and later Fremine himself. In the future, I think we can leave
That said, would anyone want to see a diver escape underwater?
Oh, it'll work out. Every journey begins with the first step. He'll become a part of our show eventually.
Lynette, could you come over? Miss Charlotte says she...
Got it.
My, that Charlotte is rather perceptive. She got rid of everyone the moment she realized I had something to say. Father says that you did a great deal during the latest events.
That's all right. We were more than happy to help. So, what...
Oh, I guess you haven't heard. After Lady Farina left, Father and Monsieur Nervillet opened negotiations, during which he gave Fontaine's gnosis to her as a
diplomatic gift? A gnosis?
Yes, I was quite surprised at first myself. But when I thought it over, there were actually a number. It could have been done as an apology for the incident with Lord Child, or as thanks for his help in tying the all-devouring narwhal. Furthermore, Father did also lend significant aid to Fontaine.
Well, that's true, but this is a gnosis we're talking about.
I would agree, but I've also heard that it's...
So there's some reason for this that only Nervillet knows about?
I suspect you'll have to ask him about that yourself. Ah, yes, speaking of...
Isn't he real busy and stuff? But back to the topic. The gnosis was given to the knave, right?
They say that he's returned to Snezhnaya to recover from his wounds. I hear that the recent disaster really did a number on his health.
That's true. When you think about it, we've had loads of run-ins with the Fatui. To think we'd be allies.
So shocked by such a simple switching of sides?
Father!
Well, what do you know? Come to the docks to see how my children are doing and meet the Traveler by chance. Please do not pay my accomplice.
Are you going to take the gnosis back?
That is our duty as harbingers. Don't be too preoccupied with sides. The goal of the Fatui concerns not a single place or person, but the entire world. With such a grand goal in mind, it is inevitable. Switching my masks is something I've always done. Well, that depends on many things. No one truly knows what the future holds. What good is honesty if you can't rely on it forever? As for you, I very much look forward to our next collaboration. Good things cannot be achieved alone, and you've proved yourselves to be great partners. A vision?
And that's a wrap for me. Huh? You...
Greetings, Miss Journalist.
Hello. If I'm not mistaken, there are diplomatic channels I'll need to report to take a photo of you.
That is correct. So forgive me, but I will not be able to serve as a subject in your article. However, feel free to write as much as you'd like about our dear
I will.
The sea breeze is quite pleasant. I shall continue my walk.
Farewell, Father.
Oh, she has such an intimidating presence. I didn't even dare to take a picture. Thankfully, I've already wrapped up all my pre-scheduled interviews. Thank you all. This'll be...
Don't be too nervous. Why don't you take a magic pocket before you go? Here, Traveler, Paimon.
To move things about?
That's right. Funny. I was giving out magic pockets when we first met, too. And I guess this must be life. We will all... Alright then. We'll be handing out pockets in some other districts later, so we'll get going now.
Well, guess we sent Charlotte off. Shall we go see how Neverlette's doing? As long as he's not so busy that he doesn't have...
No, por ahí no es.
¿Estás jugando o espiándome?
Jugando y espiándote.
A ver si ahora explica lo que es lo del arconte o algo, no sé. Porque ahora qué pasa con el arconte. Bueno, con el arconte.
So, you really are here, Neverlette. Paimon didn't think you were going to have...
Really? Oh, I suppose you must have met Mr. Linney. In any case, you came at a good time. I was just considering reaching out to you to set up a meeting.
Aw, Paimon's glad that you remembered. All right, let's have it then. How was Fontaine actually saved?
It is strange how words...
Whoa. So that's what happened? Focalor destroyed the divine throne of the Hydro Archon and restored your power to you. Trent, but Paimon still doesn't quite get what you did to save the Fontanians from
For me, the authority of the ancient dragons refers to absolute Fontanians were incomplete humans born of Egeria's use of the power of the primordial sea, with constitutions, but so long as those primordial energies remain within them, I could use the ancient dragon's authority to grant them true blood. In other words, when I gave my verdict, Fontanians became true humans, and thus would naturally no longer be dissolved.
Focalor must have counted on you to make that decision as well. Your verdict was the key to making the prophecy appear to have come true while saving everyone. Yeah, and in a manner of speaking, Focalor finally managed to fulfill the original
It seems from your expressions that you still have more things you wish to ask. Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it. I have investigated his case along many avenues, and I have learned that he once fell into an unknown chasm when he was young. But whether it be by sentiment or reason, that should not have been enough to consider him the root cause of the disaster. As for the judgment passed by the Oratree Stir, whether it was due to that liability by association, or Focalor deliberately using him to buy time for us on the assumption that he would be able to hold the creature off, I cannot say.
Guess Focalor had Fontanians in mind the whole time. In the end, it was thanks to her that they finally became hang on a second. Paimon, back when Fontanians hadn't yet become real humans, were the children they had also...
Life has always flowed like water. Do you recall how Fontanians would often come...
Yeah! Lynette said the fountain is where all the waters
In truth, even those couples did not know that such prayers were no mere custom. Those Oceanids who were blessed within the spring water would later descend as new humans in the coming months.
Entonces sí, o sea, los que nacieran nuevos sí eran humanos.
Paimon sorta gets it now.
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Yeah, about that. Right?
Ah, Lady Farina. The people are only aware that her death sentence has not been carried out. She abdicated the post of Hydro Archon and left affairs related to that title. I related Focalor's words to her faithfully and completely. After hearing them, she seemed neither saddened. She simply said that she was tired. Having said that, she then packed her things and moved out of the opera house. Not unlike how an ordinary...
But she's still got a place to stay.
You need not worry. I will make arrangements to ensure that she will not want for food, clothing, board, or travel. In truth, I am somewhat happy for her. the wear and tear. But now that she no longer has to play the role of Focalors the Hydro Archon, she can finally lay down her burden.
What about you then? What are your plans now that you've regained your full power?
After Focalors passed on, the Oratrice also ceased to function. This matter will directly affect our trials. After much careful consideration, I've decided to take over its role in our courts.
Looks like you're still considering stuff from the perspective of the—
As an elemental dragon, there are indeed many things that I must do. But this power and this duty— As such, before I attend to my other responsibilities, I must first and foremost continue to serve Fontaine as its highest judge. Additionally, the Hydro Archon's departure has brought about another problem, which is that the Opera House shall no longer—
That's true. That power was derived from the people's faith in the Wait, but the various mechs and machines in the city are all still—
As I am now, I have full command over New Musia, and it can serve as a complete substitute. Another reason why I cannot quite leave.
Wow. This ancient dragon's a—
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Oh, that's right! They say you've given it to the—
Leaving aside their intentionality, the two Fatui Harbingers have indeed done much for us during this crisis. Their sole remaining goal in Fontaine, at least at this point, would seem to be the Gnosis. The Oratrice has ceased to function. The Hydro Archon's divine throne is now no more, and I do not need the Gnosis. As such, it has lost all meaning for Fontaine. If the Fatui have impure designs, then we might as well accede to their request now, and avoid—
What complicated considerations! Paimon thought you were just giving it to them out of gratitude to the knave and as—
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it. You will soon be heading to Natlan, I presume. I'm afraid that I have little talent as a travel guide, so all I can do is tell you what I know about that land. As far as I'm aware, Natlan can be said to be a nation—
A nation of dragons?
No, I suspect that I would not find myself welcome there. Unlike ancient dragons such as myself, the dragons of Natlan have undergone long years of development and evolution. Natlan is also the nation of war. War ravages those lands. There is one other piece of information I got incidentally from my negotiations with the knave. The harbinger known as the Captain has thrown his hat.
The Captain. Sounds like a real tough customer.
I suggest that you fully prepare yourself before going to Natlan. In the meantime, Fontaine's doors will always be open to you. Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Hang on a sec. Paimon's still got a question about the Gnosis. When we spoke to Linny earlier, he mentioned that your attitude towards giving— We guessed that there might be some reason for it that only you were—
No wonder the House of the Hearth is the Fatui's intelligence division. So regarding this specific issue, I was just
what is it?
In truth, I exchanged some further words with that lady named Skirk after sending you two back to the surface. It went something like this.
Well, we're going to head topside to see what's going on. You— Whoa!
What next?
The all-devouring narwhal isn't here. I can finally catch the scent of your power. It is the authority of the planet's primordial dragons, but with something very similar to a god's curse mixed. I'm sure I've encountered something like this before.
I do not know what you speak of.
Of course. You should have the remains of the third descender on your person, yeah?
Remains? I've never heard of any such thing.
According to your parlance, I believe it may be called—
Well, that much is true. After Focalors' divinity faded, she had— But I fear I have never heard of it described in the manner that you just did.
I've been training with my master, the Fowl, ever since I was young, and I have never returned to the surface since. It is only natural for those who are greater than humanity to possess a different sort of common sense. Regardless, you should probably get rid of objects of misfortune. To live in itself is a blessing. But once a person dies, the bonds he once had—
What do you mean by that?
No need to fret. These are just my personal thoughts.
This third descender you refer to, who are they?
Master never mentioned them to me. Perhaps it just wasn't— If you're interested, though, I could ask him. I'll be sure to pass the answer on to you.
Next time? You believe we will meet again?
I do. Wait. I have a disciple of my own, don't I?
That's what she told me. Whether it would prove useful or not.
The remains of the third descender? So that's what the no-sees actually are. Paimon just thought they looked like chess pieces. How could they be a person's remains?
All the same, assuming that there was no misunderstanding or special metaphor at play.
And she said that it would bring misfortune and that you should check it, which is why you gave it to the Fatui.
If she speaks the truth, then I would simply be putting Fontaine at... I had guessed that you might already be familiar with this concept, but I did not expect you to be one of them. That means that the Gnosis, which are exceedingly element-compatible and can even enhance elemental abilities, do indeed come from the third descendant. I wonder, does your body also...
Like being able to use elemental powers without... No, let's not think about this stuff right now. It's comparing the Traveler to the dead third descender and all. That's what you say, but this topic still feels like bad luck. Once Child recovers, let's get some more answers out of him.
I too believe it unwise to make too many blind guesses when information is lacking. The same is true of being at court.
All right. Whatever the case, it seems like the crisis here in Fontaine's over for...
Yes. All of Focalor's efforts were for this moment as well.
But she sacrificed herself in the end as a god, and she suffered through all those years as a...
I suppose that would be the mystery of a god's will. I suspect not. But once in a while, I too would guess that if wishes were like the clouds in the sky, they will one day return to the earth as raindrops. Life flows like water, and rain is the final answer. The water levels may sometimes tilt one way or another, but the rain falls fairly upon all. And what, ultimately, is the difference between the rains that fall upon all?